Hey guys, I want to talk with you a little bit today about being your own genuine self to the maximum extent possible. And I just want to share a little analogy or an observation that I had on something in life. And that is the difference in life between impersonating somebody and emulating somebody. It's a very clear-cut division in my mind. And I think that, generally speaking, it's more advantageous. It is better for you, as I said, to be your own genuine self. And it's certainly okay. I think we all as humans take cues and inspiration and little bits and pieces of those around us for good reason. But I also think there's a line. And that's the point that I'm trying to make today, is just realizing that line is there, first of all, between emulation and impersonation, and not going too far into the impersonating realm of things. Because in my mind, I think when you get to that point, for some reason it becomes a little bit, well, certainly a whole lot less genuine to the person that you are as an individual and what you are in life. And I think people around you begin to register those things. And I think there's a little bit of respect loss for those in life that do go that route. And it's just, like I said, just some very basic stuff. Be proud of who you are, own who you are, be exactly what you are, be your own unique self, do your thing, do you in life, and don't get too caught up in the trap of really truly trying to be somebody else. Now, the story that I want to share with you is about a moment I had a few weeks ago. I was watching some TV, and there is a show called Painting with Bob Ross. And for those of you that are younger, you probably don't remember this. This was a gentleman in the 70s, I believe, that had a painting show on TV, and he was a very talented painter, and he also had a unique style of painting where he would paint these landscapes. And basically the show was him teaching people how to paint or just showing them what he was doing. And it was a neat show to watch, because you would see this beautiful canvas materialize into a beautiful painting right before your eyes. And the painter, of course, was very, very talented, like I said, but unique style of painting. But above and beyond that, much of what made Bob Ross likable and I think famous and made his show successful was the fact that he had this personality about him. He was a very calm guy. he used, the way he talked was very unique, and he used specifically some unique words. Like every time he was drawing clouds, he would say things like, I'm drawing this happy little cloud and a happy little tree, and he had all these little unique phrases and sayings that he would use that people came to know him by, and it was awesome. It was just like a cool show to watch. Like I said, it was just his personality that made the show enjoyable, I think. But anyways, Bob Ross had died at some point, and he had passed on and taught many other people to paint in his life, of course. And there was a gentleman that came after him that was just seeking to keep Bob Ross's legacy alive, and he actually made this show that was just basically doing what Bob Ross was doing and showing people how to paint this unique style of painting. And I was just curious to watch this newer gentleman's show, because I enjoyed Bob's stuff so much, just to see what it was all about. And I was watching the show, and the gentleman was also a very talented painter, and he was able to create the look a lot of exactly what Bob was doing with his paintings. Made some beautiful things. And there was this point in time in the show where I was watching for maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and the show was enjoyable, and I was liking what the guy was doing. But then he started to interject these little Bob Ross words. Like he would say the exact same things that Bob Ross would say. And this dials back to, in the beginning of the talk where I was explaining about, what made Bob was his personality and his wording and all this kind of stuff. And so in my mind, it went really fast from like, wow, this guy is doing something really cool. He's emulating what Bob did. He's carrying forward Bob Ross's legacy, to, wow, this guy's really trying to be Bob, because he's using these words. And just even as small of a thing as that was, like just the fact that this guy was using Bob Ross's exact specific words and just the manner that he said them For some reason, it took a whole lot of the appreciation factor out for me. And it was just striking, because I think that's a really good example for all of us to take note of in our lives as we're out there doing things, and just the way we are in this world. And it's just such a big point, I think, for all of us to always consider and keep in the back of our minds, and really try to incorporate this in our lives, is just as I said earlier, it's okay to emulate people. It's okay to say, hey, I want to go out and be a painter, or hey, I want to go out and paint like Bob Ross and do this and that. And those are great things. But at the end of the day, that's a contrast. And it's like, I don't think that any of us should be out there, conducting ourselves in the manner that we're actually physically trying to actually be another person, if that makes sense. So there's things that people do around us to influence us, and then there's actually trying to be that person and like jump into their skin and talk the way they talk and use the words they used and be exactly the individual that they were. That's never going to be possible. You're never going to be Bob Ross, as hard as you might try, in the words that you use. And as I said, I think this just rubs off on people as we go through life, and people recognize these things, and there's a little bit of respect loss, I think, or maybe not say respect, but it's just there's a little bit less admiration maybe for people that are coming across that way, and that are not being genuinely them. And I think that's of course something that we're all learning throughout the entire extent of our lives. And yeah, it's I think it is a factor. Maybe we've all had touches of these types of moments in our lives, and we're able to see the effects that those have on things. But just more and more every single day when I wake up and I go through life, and this lesson just keeps ringing home, it's like, you've only just got to be you, like be the unique you that is you. I mean, we're all completely different as human beings when we come down here to the earth. And that is part of the beauty of being here. I mean, imagine if we were all exactly the same, and running around doing exactly the same things, saying the same things, looking the same way, like in any manner that you choose to consider this concept that I'm talking about here. It's part of what makes us all, I just think, fascinating and powerful people, is just the fact that we are unique. And just be proud of who you are, and own what you are, own who you are. And I think there's a whole other discussion for another day, where for some reason, a lot of us are maybe shy to actually be our true unique selves, or maybe we're discouraged at points in times, or we think people aren't going to like us if we're not a certain way. And yeah, just as you go through life, sure, we all, I think, have those thoughts and feel those certain things when we're younger. But every day, more so and more so, I see the relevance and the importance of, as I've said a bunch of times now, just being the unique who, like be who you are. Like forget about everybody else. Like don't worry about what other people are doing. Don't worry about trying to be like somebody else. Don't try to impersonate somebody else. That will not bring you the happiness and the respect in life and the fulfillment in life, I think, most importantly. And I hope that resonates with you, and you take a little piece of this advice and translate it forward and incorporate this in your life. And just try to think about that the next time you catch yourself. And we all do it, like I said. Times you'll catch yourself, basically trying to impersonate somebody else. Like I said, there's a line between impersonating and emulating. Just try to be aware of it. Just keep that in the back of your mind, and just be you. That's all you've got to do. Be you. Be proud of you. Whatever you are, just own it, and it will take you far in this world. All right, guys. Hope you're having a wonderful day. We'll talk to you real soon.